Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to this special launch event of the WomenConnect Challenge India Round 2. This is a joint initiative by USAID and Reliance Foundation and was first launched in 2020, where through Round 1, we looked at bridging the gender-digital divide. One of the ways in which we look at empowering women on the field is through innovative technological solutions. Thank you very much for joining us. You can log on for more information to womenconnectindia.com. Under round 1 of the challenge, Reliance Foundation supported 10 organizations and we awarded grants from 75 lakh to 1 crore rupees. These projects spanned 12 to 15 months and we aim to reach over 3 lakh women and girls across 17 states. Last week, Reliance Foundation and USAID launched the second round of the WomenConnect Challenge India Round 2. In today's event, we will be sharing much more information on this, and we encourage you to watch this, and all organizations who are potential grantees, if you have an innovative solution, if you have something that you think can work on the field, please watch and do share your queries, and we look forward to hearing from you in due course. To start this event, I'd like to first invite Ms. Veena Reddy, Mission Director, USAID India, to share her opening remarks.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. And thank you very much for tuning in, and thank you very much to the Reliance Foundation. So I'm honored to be here on behalf of the U.S. government through the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID. Our mission is to lift lives, build communities, and advance democracy around the world. We do that, of course, by funding projects, but also by creating partnerships that really drive progress, not just projects. And this is why our partnership with the private sector is so important, and it's an increasing emphasis of the Biden-Harris administration. It's a pleasure to be here to launch the WomenConnect Challenge India Round 2, which is addressing barriers that limit women's access to technology. As we all know, the digital revolution has brought out the promise of enormous benefits from digital tools that can advance freedom and transparency, generate prosperity, strengthen inclusion, and inspire innovation. However, as digital technology is accelerating opportunities across the world, women are also increasingly being left behind. Globally, there are 250 million fewer women online than men, and over 1.7 billion women do not own a mobile phone. I'll echo the sentiments of President Biden, who earlier said this year on International Women's Day that improving the status of women and girls strengthens economies, democracies, and societies across the board. The gender-digital divide poses a threat to economic, social, and political progress. It keeps women from fully participating in the economy, limits their access to education, constrains their equal access to legal and financial institutions, and reinforces the existing socioeconomic gaps between men and women. This divide doesn't just affect women, it holds communities and countries back from reaching their full potential. And unfortunately, these disparities were compounded during the COVID-19 pandemic, which has increased global reliance on digital services, forcing many businesses to adapt or shutter their doors. At USAID, we take closing the digital gender divide seriously, and it is a core component of our digital strategy, which charts an agency-wide vision for development in the world's rapidly evolving digital landscape. To realize this vision, USAID invests in initiatives such as the WomenConnect Challenge, a global call for solutions to improve women's participation in everyday life in meaningfully changing the ways women access and use technology. And in India, USAID is very proud to work with the Reliance Foundation on the WomenConnect Challenge India, which has already supported 10 grantee organizations, some of whom are here today, implementing innovative solutions in 17 Indian states. As we'll hear today, these organizations have yielded impressive results. One example that I'll share of the innovations and meaningful impact is a woman in Odisha that was supported through the Center for Youth and Social Development to empower and equip tribal women with digital skills. Pramila Krishna, a farmer in the Koraput district, and she participated in the Banashri application, which is an e-platform that facilitates market linkages and disseminates information on Social Security schemes. And she used the Banashri app, along with 6,000 other women, to access better market prices for her produce and increase her monthly income. And then she used the information on the app to advocate for higher prices for her community. When the last tamarind crop was harvested, she checked the minimum price support online and discovered that it was 13 rupees higher per kilogram than the traders were offering, and it enabled women, that information enabled women to collectively bargain for for a better price. And she uses this information and disseminates it within her community, and as well as other information on social government schemes. As Pramila demonstrates, when you empower one woman, she has the power to benefit her family, her community, and country. So a woman can multiply the impact of investment made in her future by extending the benefits to the world around her and creating a better life for her family and building a strong community and stronger country. And she is just one of 300,000 women and girls who've benefited from round one of WomenConnect Challenge India through the inspiring work of the grantees here today. And so round two, which we're launching today, will supercharge these efforts and impact. And it's not just enough to invest in digital infrastructure and support innovators. We also have to invest in the responsible use of technology. Sexual and gender-based violence are serious abuses and violations of human rights that have physical, psychological, and economic consequences to survivors, particularly women and girls, their families, and their communities. So round two is an opportunity to also look at more of the social impacts as well, and the security around digital infrastructure. So anyway, I want to thank all of you for having me here today and for joining us in this discussion. WomenConnect India Round 2 will be accepting applications, I understand, until November 14th. Investing in women and girls is essential to transforming our communities and nations. And this collaboration will support new pathways for women and girls in India to engage with technology, counter outdated social norms, and increase their economic independence. Closing the gender digital divide will help women improve their lives, the stability of their families, and the resilience of their communities, and in fostering an inclusive and more equitable future. So on behalf of the US government, I thank you for your commitment and dedication to closing the gender digital divide in India and around the world. And together, by working together, we can enable women to do great things. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your remarks. And indeed, the story of Pramila Krishnan and many such stories across India have inspired us through WomenConnect Challenge Round 1, inspiring us to set up an additional round of grants for organizations. So if you think your organization could be a potential grantee, do check out womenconnectindia.com, log in for information, and find out more about how you can apply. I now invite the CEO of Reliance Foundation, Mr. Jagannath Kumar, to talk not just about the importance of increasing access to digital technology for women, but also to talk a little bit about Reliance Foundation and our commitment to women's empowerment and what it means for us to be involved in this.
A very good evening to all of you, and very warm welcome to our esteemed guests and speakers on the occasion of the launch of the first round of WomenConnect Challenge India. In August 2020, we launched the first round of the WomenConnect Challenge India. That was in partnership with USAID. It was in the middle of the biggest health crisis the world has seen in the last century. The gap in access to digital tools and services for women was felt more profoundly during the pandemic, when physical access of day-to-day services and supplies was even more challenging and everything was so disrupted at that point of time. The pandemic brought urgency to accelerate the pace of providing equitable access to digital technology. Technology today has transformed the way we operate in the world. It's been a strong enabler in translating our ideas into action, accelerating the pace of progress, and catalyzing transformation of individuals and communities. It has demonstrated the capacity to pave the path to bridging inequities. Over the last 20 years, we have seen tremendous growth in the proliferation of use of mobile phones, particularly amongst the women too. However, a recent report of GSMA shows men's mobile internet use steadily increased in India from 45 to 50%, which is okay but not good enough, while women's usage of internet stagnated at a meager 30%. This is all the more reason why women need a strong enabling environment to use and access digital technology for better lives. In that context, the launch of WomenConnect Challenge India was an effort to address this gap by engaging with a number of organizations across India. Through these projects we supported in round one, it has been inspiring to see the women on ground leading by example within families and their communities by using the power of technology to transform their lives and the lives of those around them. I'd like to congratulate the organizations who have been a part of this program so far for giving it a strong start. I'd like to congratulate all the women who have been a part of this in making this a grand success. Our founder and chairperson, Mrs. Nita Ambani, talks about how women have the power to transform the lives of those around them when they are given equitable access to resources. Digital tools and services are an essential part of those resources in the digital era. In a recent book that Reliance Foundation published in partnership with Observer Research Foundation, we profiled some inspiring stories of women who became the change agents using technology. Some of those featured in the book include inspiring women who are part of the WomenConnect Challenge Round 1 projects. Tanushree Das from Char village in West Bengal, leading her village into digital future, or Sapna Jha, pioneering digital literacy in UP's Lalitpur, and many more such stories tell us how the women can bring community-level changes using the power of digital technology. It is this demonstrated success that we have seen in the engagement so far that has encouraged us to continue this journey by launching the next round of the WomenConnect Challenge India in partnership with USAID. We are once again looking for ideas and for innovative ways to enhance women's lives and livelihoods through digital technology. Reliance Foundation will commit up to an additional rupees 10 crores that can fund innovative ideas of about 10 non-profit organizations, providing grants of up to rupees 1 crore for taking this further. Please join me as we launch the WomenConnect Challenge India Round 2 together with USAID and invite organizations to rise up to the challenge with innovative ideas to bridge the gender digital divide that can build an equal world. Thank you.
Very good. Go. Thank you very much to our esteemed guest today, Ms. Veena Reddy, Mr. Jagannath Kumar, for your remarks and for reinforcing the commitment and the purpose of this WomenConnect Challenge India Round 2. Thank you very much to our esteemed speakers. We now have a very short video that plays out what's in store for WomenConnect Challenge Round 2. Thank you very much to our esteemed panelists. In our next session, I'd like to invite Dr. Vanita Sharma, Advisor Strategic Initiatives at Reliance Foundation, in conversation with 4 innovative Round 1 awardees. These are Pradhan, Development Alternatives, TechnoServe India, Friends of Women Banking, World Banking. I'd like to invite Ms. Sahana Mishra from Pradhan, Ms. Deepthi Komera from TechnoServe India, Ms. Neha Kansara from Friends of Women World Banking, and Ms. Jyoti Sharma from Society for Development Alternatives. To the dais, please. Over to you, panel.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Jayashree. So we're really delighted to have all of you here today to talk to us in a little bit more detail about the amazing projects that you've been doing over the last 18 months. I think as we've heard from Ms. Veena Reddy and Mr. Kumar, I think India has been making huge strides in the last few years in terms of the digital revolution and digital access. But there's still a lot more that needs to be done to be able to ensure that women will get equal access to those benefits. By 2026, India will have over 1 billion smartphone users, and I think it's very much our aspiration, and I think the aspiration of all of you, that women should feature in very large numbers in that. So I think what we're hoping to discuss in a bit more detail in our panel discussion with you is what are some of the insights that you've learned in terms of how we can help ensure that women get better access to digital, especially women from marginalized communities and especially women in rural communities. So thank you again for joining us today. I think we'll start with you, Sahana, from Pradhan. So in your project, you set up digital classrooms in rural parts of Bihar, equipped with devices and internet access to empower marginalized women and girls through a curriculum on basic digital literacy. Can you tell us a little bit more about your approach to behavior change and any innovations around these type of campaigns in your program? Because behavior change both for the women themselves, but also helping persuade families, communities that this is really important is a key part of helping increase women's access to digital. So it would be great to hear more from you about your experiences and learnings.
In Bihar, we have implemented this project in 3 poorest districts. And we believe that to having this change, to to actualize this change, then there should be a mindset change first, and after that, then the behavior change can come. In India, we have a tendency that we believe that men need technology because they are the bread earners, but women also believe that we do not need that. So what we tried is that the mindset change, that women should believe that yes, we also need technology, and also side by side, the society also need to believe that yes, women also need technology. It is not only men, and women are also the bread earners. And after that, then the women should then voice their need, and that they need the technology to support the family and to support themselves. And through this mindset change and behavior change, then women can able to be access this technology, and they can lead the change process in future. So, thank you.
Thanks, Ahana. And I think next we have Deepthi from TechnoServe India. So in your project, you were facilitating trainings on the use of mobile phones and internet and network-based applications using sort of community-based advocates for women, particularly focusing on women from low-income farming households in Rajasthan. So can you tell us a little bit about how did you adapt your strategy for digital literacy training for first-time female digital users? What were some of the things that you really had to bear in mind to help give them that confidence, and any sort of key learnings you can share with us from your experience?
So our strategy was based on our baseline assessment. When we have done an assessment on the ground, it was very clear that the women were majority illiterate, and they never had access or to phones or even owning the phone also. So considering these challenges, what we have felt that whatever we built a training module, it has to be in sync with their literacy level as well. So the first and foremost we did is icon-based training modules, which were fairly simple for them to understand and get a hands-on experience around each and every app on the mobile. And since most of the women did not have access or they don't own the phone, we have created within the session we had peer network, peers who can help them with the digital technology. Beyond the sessions, we have come up with this innovative way of training advocates. Typically, as part of this project, if I say 1,650 women have come through this project. We've engaged them, and we have 767 advocates. What happens with the women is, beyond the sessions, they need to go somewhere because they don't have a mobile. They need to get trained, or they need to actually practice whatever has been taught to them. So the advocates play a very critical role in actually training them, giving them access to phone. And even within the women, there were more than half were very slow learners. So we had continuous process of revisions within the curriculum as well, so that they can be trained again and again. And also advocates take extra care so that they can get hands-on experience around the training modules itself. So yeah, so this was some of the things we adapted based on the local context.
And Deepthi, from your experience, do you think there are any key learnings that you would maybe share with people that are developing apps for, from women, from marginalized backgrounds, and particularly those who may have limited literacy? Is there anything that you think could be done better to make things like apps more accessible for them?
Yes, what we've realized that if we keep the apps very complicated to function, I think it's very difficult for women to access. Their confidence levels are very low. So some of the video apps, they're able to use it and they see real value in it, and it's very simple to get access to a video call with their family, as opposed to a financial app where getting into a transaction and So I think there is a difference amongst the different apps. But I think what we have realized is if we can give them a proper training and hands-on support, women are no less, they can definitely learn.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dipti. And Neha, you're from Friends of Women World Banking. And in your project, you were training and mentoring potential and existing micro-entrepreneurs from low-income households in 3 states on the use of smartphones and the adoption of digital platforms to help them really use those skills to be able to then improve their livelihood opportunities. Can you tell us, I mean, there's been some really interesting examples that have come through from your projects, and I thought it'd be great if you could share a little bit about the importance of including social media literacy as part of digital literacy training, and some examples of how women have used technology, including social media, to really power their entrepreneurial ventures.
Sure. So our project or our interventions are anchored with women's empowerment efforts. And to do so, we feel that establishing sustainable livelihoods or nano businesses for women is a main thing that one organization could do. To do so, we closely work with rural women in remote locations. And the interventions are anchored around behavioral change aspects, training, mentorship, and also practical demonstrations. Particularly on technology side, when we were working with potential as well as existing nano entrepreneurs, we tried to focus on 4 basic aspects. One is to help women adopt smartphone and help them to understand how it is used. That is one. That's the basic thing which we started. Second is how smartphone can be used for business promotion, and not every business could be at a level wherein women could be introduced to e-commerce platforms, but even basic applications and platforms like WhatsApp or Instagram or other aspects which women could use to promote their nano businesses. So these usage of these applications were taught to women. Second is we felt that online banking as well as using various e-payment platforms was also very crucial. And fortunately, I think COVID kind of triggered everything moving on to the digital platform. So that's the advantage that even we could get in our program, wherein we taught women how to use basic e-payment platforms or internet banking. That was the second intervention that we took up. And third, but not the least, was the introduction of various business management applications which are available. And these are all free applications which are available, wherein women can use it for their day-to-day businesses. Say, for example, for record keeping or for tracking their buyers or tracking the sales and credits of their business activity. So these are some initiatives on which we worked in our program.
Thanks, Neha. And is there a particular example that really sort of stood out to you? Any one particular woman's story that really stood out to you?
Sure. So in this program, we covered 3 states, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Manipur. And I'll talk about one example in the state of Manipur. Within Manipur, again, in the hilly regions, there is a very remote terrain wherein we were supporting one lady who was into hotel management activity. So she had taken up a basic course on that, but since the location was so remote that she was not able to attract any tourists or visitors, so she converted her home as a hotel, and or we can say it as a homestay facility was created. But still, having all the facilities, still she was not able to attract any tourists. So through this program, when we taught her, one is to onboard or list her homestay on various platforms like Airbnb or Booking.com. Fortunately, she could bring in so many tourists, so she could attract so many tourists and she could build in a good client base. Secondly, she was also able to encourage this foreign tourists who were coming there for online payments also. So she could also take benefit of the online payment mechanisms in her business. So this is one such example, but there are many such examples wherein we worked in remote locations and women have taken best advantage of technology in that regions.
Great, thank you. I mean, I think that's a fantastic example which just shows the tremendous potential that can be unlocked through very basic digital literacy skills. Thank you. So last but not least, we have Jyoti from Development Alternatives. So in your project, you were building the capacity of neo-literate women in digital and entrepreneurial skills. So things like the basic usage of mobile phones, browsing, internet banking, and safe internet practices in Uttar Pradesh to ensure financial inclusion and economic independence. Can you tell us a little bit about how important is it to offer entrepreneurship opportunities alongside digital literacy? And can you also share some examples of innovative opportunities that you've developed in your program?
Thank you, Anita, for asking this. As you mentioned that we were working with neo-literates, so we were working on a social capital built during the years. So when we built the capacities of women in the form of digital, literacy, they wanted to go beyond. And for us, economic, that aspect was obvious to choose because that shows immediate results. And when we say that we are, working on the economic empowerment, it doesn't only mean the economic empowerment for that particular individual. It also brings along the social empowerment of the entire family, not that just the women, the entire family. When a woman earns, she also gains power, and she also bargains in the family. She negotiates and makes decisions for the family as itself. Like we've seen, to quote certain examples, women, in this project, after imparting digital literacy, we were working with women who wanted to learn new trades, and then also imparted them the entrepreneurial know-how, and also we were also working with the existing entrepreneurs. So we've seen we've seen various trends, like tailors, like to quote one of the examples, one tailor, she was getting rupees 30-40 for stitching a blouse, and after accessing new designs on YouTube, she started charging 150 and 200 in the same market, and her income enhanced. And similarly, one very interesting, demand came from women when while during one of the digital literacy classes, we were explaining them what's Twitter, and then somebody said that, okay, on Twitter, you can say anything, you can demand things from government. Then they said that, we have heaps of garbage in our village, can we get that removed? How do we get it? Then they asked, if they can do it, then can we also do it? Then the idea of rural journalism, that this was the demand from women which was put up. And then we introduced a rural journalism course. So women learned how to do, how to report matters of their village, and 2 or 3 women are now interning with one of the community radio stations in the nearby area. So that's how these wonderful things happen when we co-create with the community. I mean, they did not know what is rural journalism, but it just came up. Similarly, one of the very interesting things, soap making, vermicomposting. So we were thinking that, what could we do which could have demand locally. So when we were thinking about the soap making courses, it was very interesting. We thought of, linking them to certain brands, but locally the demand was so high. In recently one of the Diwali Melas, these women sold 800 soaps to a local shopkeeper. And we also have, in fact, I have also got their soaps here. Similarly, vermicomposting also, local farmers are also demanding organic manure. So it is very interesting, and now their families are also supporting them. And when, I was just talking to someone that when a woman start earning, it is not just she gets money, she transforms the generations. Probably these families would not have daughter-in-laws who have been working earlier. Now the husbands are helping them. So when fathers are helping mothers to do household chores, then the sons learn to help their future wives too. So this is how we are changing generations.
It has that ripple effect and that
Yes.
trickle-down effect
Yes,
as well.
yes.
I think one of the things that has come out really well through your project, but also through all of the other projects, is really the diversity of different opportunities digital really will help unlock for women. There's such a range of different entrepreneurial opportunities that women have been able to access through having built up these digital skills. Sahana, if I can come back to you, from your experience, what are some of the biggest challenges that we need to overcome to shift the gender digital divide?
Actually, the big challenge is like women coming out and saying that, yes, we need the technology, we need the access to technology, we also need a mobile phone. So it is not accepted at the family level at first. So we have to break that barrier at a first sight. Like, for example, we introduced this Theatre of Oppressed, where we created a platform to dialogue with both men and women, where they can come together and dialogue and create a platform of democratic dialoguing and engendering dialoguing. And also it helps, actually this process helps in critical thinking and also helps them to stimulates them to take action. So that's the process, that is the beginning of the whole thing. And through that process, then both men and women dialogue, and then women also go back to the family and they voice their need. And this is a process through that they demand access to technology. And they really, and some of the girls, I remember that when they took admission in the private NIOS examination, they took admission and they did not get the books on time. So for that matter, they negotiated with their family and they got smartphones, and through that they downloaded the study materials and they accessed those. So these are some of the cases which happened after this dialoguing at the family level, the society level.
So building that confidence and also that acceptance at the family level, the community level is a really key part of it. And this is a follow-up question for any of you. What are some of the reasons why you feel hopeful that we really can now start to shift the needle on trying to get women more access to digital from your experience?
So. To help women access, they need, first of all, they need to understand why they need this. And after that, they need to have some money in their hand. So economic activity is a must. Through that, independently, they can take the decision and they can purchase a mobile for them. And in the place of asking help from support from family or from husband or from father. So that's the better situation that I think we should create for them, so that they can independently take the decision and purchase a mobile for them and use it more and more. And more to say, I would say that if their economic activity is linked to technology, then it automatically gives them that opportunity. So that's the way I see.
And Jyoti, I think you had some thoughts.
Thank you, Sahana, for putting that. I also believe that knowledge is very important. Sometimes they might have access, but they don't have the knowledge to operate it. So they have this fear, what if we do something wrong? So that kind of confidence has to be built in within the family, and the women also, that knowledge gap has to be built.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think just finally, now that we have opened round 2 of the WomenConnect Challenge, and we're looking for a new set of projects and ideas, do you have any tips for future applicants? maybe about, not necessarily about the application process, but more about, what are some of the things that they should bear in mind when they're developing and designing their projects based on your experience. Neha, would you like to go first?
So I think the bigger part is the perceptions, right? Perceptions of the community, especially women at different age groups. I think one has to really have the design, within the design, how are we going to break the barriers around the perception itself and how they communicate? Maybe young girls having access to phone, there's a different perception as opposed to woman who's a household. So I think that's one part of it. And also there is a lot of benefit also, right? When you use digital technology, it's not only economic activity. I think they can get access to some of the government schemes. That comes through the knowledge, right? If they know where exactly they need to plug in. So I think the design has to, broadly if I say, has to also take care of where is the awareness and knowledge and how we can bridge that gap. And second is, what are the different barriers of adoption and what can be done to overcome these barriers. And barriers can be culturally, socially, economically. There are different barriers. Identifying barriers are very critical for designing a program most appropriate to the audience.
I think she has covered it all, but just to add on to her point, what we feel is that whenever we are designing the program or any project, one is the behavioral aspect of the community with whom you are working. One also needs to be very conscious about the social and cultural barriers in that particular community, and also the understanding and adoption capacity of the segment that you work. So these are few things which we try to focus on while we were developing and designing our program. And within this, I think organizations can look at various innovative approaches or practices which can be brought in the project.
Thank you. Yeah, I think co-creation is very important. The community, as you mentioned, the community we are going to work with, it's important that nothing is top down. Even after 40 years of working with the community at DA, we still believe there are surprises in the community, and one has to take care of that. And leveraging partnerships is also the key. If it has to be a sustainable change, then the whole ecosystem has to come together. So that's.
And the last, I think all of them have said very important points. And I would say it should be designed in a way that it should be like technology plus. How women can access those technology without any hassles, without any barriers from their families. So we need to think in that perspective and design the present. Thank you.
Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you, Sahana, Deepthi, Neha, and Jyoti. I think it's been really, really great to hear about some of the successes, the challenges that you've had in the projects that you've developed. And I think first and foremost, I think we're really looking forward to seeing how you will continue to develop and scale the initiatives that you've been developing over these last 18 months. But also thank you for the insights that you've shared in terms of how organizations can better approach designing some of these projects. And I think it'll be very, very helpful for some of the new applicants for round 2. So thank you again for joining us today. I'd now like to hand back to Dr. Jayshree.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vanita Sharma, and to all the panelists. I think we had a wide range of experiences and innovations that were shared, ranging from rural journalism to homestays to theatre of the oppressed and social and behavior change. What one underlying thing that is common among all of these initiatives is the innovation and rising up to the challenge. Do you have it in you? Does your organization have the potential to create a change and bridge the gender digital divide? I hope this session was very useful. Thank you so much, panelists, for your insightful inputs for our new potential awardees. Thank you for joining us. We heard in the first session about some of our inspiring women, such as Tanushri, Pramila. We now have a video of one such inspiring woman, Sapna Singh. And we would like you to watch to understand what this means, that technology does not just change life of one woman, but the lives of so many around her.
ये क्यूआर कोड है, आप इससे स्कैन करके विदाउट अकाउंट नंबर डाले पेमेंट कर सकते हैं। शहर वालों को क्या लगता है कि गांव की औरतें कैसी हैं? ऑनलाइन शॉपिंग करना, यूपीआई से पेमेंट करना या यूट्यूब से कुकिंग की नई नई रेसिपी सीखना। हम लोग बहुत स्मार्ट हैं। यहाँ पे शिक्षा का स्तर बहुत निम्न है, खास करके लड़कियों के लिए। मैं बहुत लकी हूँ कि मुझे ऐसे माता पिता मिले जिन्होंने मुझे पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन तक पढ़ाया। मेरी डेयरी बिजनेस में टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से समय से लोगों को पेमेंट मिलता है और उनका पेमेंट सेफ रहता है। एक औरत के लिए आज के युग में आत्मनिर्भर होना बहुत जरूरी है और आप आत्मनिर्भर तभी बन पाएंगे जब आपको डिजिटल साक्षरता और टेक्नोलॉजी का ज्ञान होगा।
Moving on, we now have Ms. Imrana Khera, Partnership Advisor from USAID India, along with Ms. Neha Srinivasan, Vice President at Reliance Industries Limited, who leads strategic initiatives at Reliance Foundation. They'll be sharing a little bit more information about this Round 2 challenge. This session will be moderated by Ms. Aanchal Aneja, who's a Program Development Lead at Reliance Foundation. Do join us.
Thank you, Dr. Jayashree. Last week, Reliance Foundation and USAID launched Round 2 of the WomenConnect Challenge India. Through Round 2, Reliance Foundation will be providing grants of up to rupees 1 crore to up to 10 innovative organizations that are working to bridge the gender-digital divide. Let me start with asking Neha and Imrana here some more in-depth questions on Round 2. So to begin, Imrana, could you please tell us a little bit about the objectives for Round 2 as well as the types of solutions that we're looking for in this round?
Thank you for inviting us here. So with the proposals, we're really looking for proposals which are creating compelling case studies for women's digital access and use, which are using USAID's proven strategies that can help close the gender digital divide. I think as we heard from the previous speakers, they've used those technologies but adapted it to the India context effectively. And those are some of the objectives that we'd be looking for. These include challenging social and cultural norms, developing skills and opportunities as it links to women's technology skills and how it leads to economic opportunities, helping women to build confidence, growing community advocates, and developing creative women-centric technology. So as we know, women have lower rates of literacy, which impact their use of technology. So it's important that the technology is designed for women in a way that they can use it effectively.
Thanks, Imrana. Moving to Neha, could you talk a little bit about the eligibility criteria that we're looking for in applicants for this round?
Yeah, so the applicants must be an entity that is registered in India. So we are looking for entities that are registered in India and working in India. It must be a foundation, a trust, or a non-profit organization, or a Section 8 company under the Companies Act 2013. We are looking for organizations who have some experience, so a proven track record of minimum 3 years in doing similar projects would be is required. and I encourage partnerships. So we want non-profit organizations to come together and come up with innovation solutions in this area. So organization can apply in partnership or a consortium. For more details, they can look up in the RFA in the eligibility section, and they'll find all the details.
Thanks, Neha. Coming back to something you had mentioned earlier, Imrana, around the types of solutions that we're looking for. While the scope is relatively broad in terms of not limiting solutions to any particular thematic areas, but could you talk a little bit about the areas that we would like to also encourage applications from?
Sure. Yeah, so we'd like to encourage concepts from diverse groups that have clear strategic and collaborative models that can really tackle the complexity of closing the gender digital divide. Another area that we've noticed increased use is of technology-assisted gender-based violence. So concepts or proposals that are addressing this issue are welcomed and encouraged. In addition, concepts which are focusing among the most socially and geographically marginalized is also important to us. And organizations which are include women in leadership positions and or designing the technology themselves, that it's women who are designing the technology. And in addition to that, we really are looking for proposals which are going to promote more gender equitable access to existing infrastructure as opposed to creating new infrastructure.
Thanks, Imrana. And for applicants, Neha, could you please talk a little bit about how they will be evaluated and what they should keep in mind in terms of demonstrating these criteria in their applications?
Yeah, I think few things that they should keep in mind. Number one is understanding the problem itself and getting the context. So we would look for, in the proposals, a clear understanding of what problem they are trying to tackle, that they have taken the local context, the cultural issues into consideration while deciding the proposal. And, understanding of the barriers that exist for women in accessing this technology. And what does this lack of access mean, for not letting them achieve their full potential? So a clear understanding of the problem should be there. On the solution itself, comprehensive solution, I think, holistic, some of the proven strategies that I think Imrana has touched upon, if they can use that, I think that would be good. A sound technical approach, a clear-cut operational plan of how they will go about implementing their proposal should be there. Clear-cut monitoring and evaluation plan. I think there is a lot that can be done in this area, and it would be good if the organizations start thinking about how they will monitor and evaluate the outcomes from the project from the very start, rather than it becoming an afterthought. So that's very important. And in the end, potential impact. I think whatever we do to achieve certain outcomes that we set out in the advance, and that should be very clear. Reach is important, but according to me, along with reach, the solution is important. What are they trying to solve, and how it will impact finally the lives of these women? So those are the few things I think they should keep in mind while writing a proposal and presenting the solution.
And to both of you, what guidelines or tips can you share to prospective applicants for what makes a strong application?
Sure. So it's important that applicants include a clear theory of change, showing that the model that they seek to implement is able to also demonstrate clear outcomes within the 12 to 15 month time frame. In addition to that, it's important that they showcase their past experience in this area and have a clear sustainability plan. So that way, after WomenConnect Challenge funding, that they're able to still implement their project.
Yeah, and I would just add to it that they keep it simple but innovative. I think innovative solutions is what we are looking for, and have a clear-cut, very strong evaluation plan. I think that's very important.
Right. Thanks. And one final question. So what should grantees look forward to once they're selected?
the grant itself. So obviously they will be entitled to the grant that is proposed. But what other things they can look forward to is a symposium. We are planning a symposium with all the awardees. Basically a platform to come together, share ideas, maybe brainstorm and make their proposals stronger. Some guidance on the monitoring and evaluation. So symposium is definitely something that they should look forward to. Then webinar series, I think we would be organizing a series of webinars throughout the year, throughout the program, in fact, where, it would be on topics that are relevant for the awardees, and they can learn from there. They will become members of the community of practice. I think it's a platform, online platform, where, all the WomenConnect awardees come together and they share their ideas, they share their learnings, etc. So they can look forward to be a member of that. And obviously they'll join the global cohort of WCC grantees. I think Imrana can add to it.
Yeah, USAID looks forward to welcoming the WomenConnect Challenge India into our global cohort. We have over 16 grantees from across 20 countries. And again, we look forward to helping to facilitate them to share lessons learned and best practices in closing the gender digital divide.
Thank you, Imrana. Thank you, Neha. I hope that the information that we've just discussed is useful to all the prospective applicants. Thank you.
Thanks, Achal. I think we are looking forward for the applications from round 2.
Thank you.
I'd now like to hand over Dr. Jayashree.
Thank you very much, Ms. Aanchal Aneja, Ms. Imrana Khera, and Ms. Neha Srinivasan for joining us and sharing a lot of insights about what round 2 grantees should be putting into their application. We are now joined online by Mr. Christopher Burns, the Chief Digital Development Officer and the Director for Technology in the Innovation, Technology and Research Hub at USAID. He will share some closing remarks. Thank you very much, Mr. Burns.
Hello. Thank you to our host, Reliance Foundation, for partnering with us to launch round 2 of WomenConnect Challenge India. Thank you to our panelists who have showcased their project from round 1 of this challenge. It is great to hear about your innovative and locally led solutions to this urgent issue. The growing gender digital divide reinforces the existing socioeconomic inequalities between women and men. Without access to technology, women and girls are denied educational opportunities, timely health information, necessary social interactions, online access to business skills training, mentoring, potential angel investors, and e-commerce platforms to successfully grow entrepreneurial endeavors. Even when women and girls do gain access to information and communication technologies like the internet and other digital platforms, they can face discouraging and endangering obstacles such as technology-facilitated gender-based violence. Nearly 3/4 of women online have been exposed to some form of this violence, including cyberbullying, cyberstalking, hate speech, body shaming, and harassment. Survivors can suffer emotionally and psychologically, and in some cases are subjected to physical danger. This challenge is unfortunately growing globally. The COVID-19 pandemic has further amplified risks and inequalities as women had to work, shop, and communicate online, and in doing so, giving potential abusers more opportunities to inflict harm. USAID and the US government are committed to advancing women as equal actors in the economy, especially through digital connectivity and inclusion. USAID's digital strategy, released in April 2020, articulates that developing open, inclusive, and secure digital ecosystems is a key component of a country's overall development. Every component of what we call digital development is affected by whether there's a sufficiently robust communications network that is widely available, affordable, and used effectively by all segments of the population. Ending the gender digital divide is absolutely critical to economic and socio-economic development, especially in today's interconnected world. USAID is working to bridge these divides through its digital strategy and projects like the WomenConnect Challenge. The USAID digital strategy outlines USAID's deliberate and holistic commitment to improve development and humanitarian assistance outcomes through the use of digital technology and to strengthen open, inclusive, and secure digital ecosystems. Its implementation plan includes a deliberate focus on closing the gender digital divide at an activity level and through dedicated programming. as well as proactively addressing challenges to digital literacy and online data protection that often exacerbate this divide. As part of our commitment, the WomenConnect Challenge projects aim to directly confront the social norm barriers and identify effective solutions and practices. USAID's WomenConnect Challenge started this process in 2018 with a global call for solutions to find local, grassroots methods that would improve women's participation in everyday life by meaningfully changing the way women access and use technology. To date, USAID is supporting 16 WomenConnect Challenge grantees, working together to connect nearly 6 million women to the internet in 16 countries. While many of these projects are outside of India, many of the same barriers and effective solutions apply. In Senegal, Morocco, Kenya, and Namibia, for example, we are working with a women-led organization called AFCHICS that teaches women how to be internet network technicians and then helps them build a community of internet networks in their villages. These women are dismantling restrictive social norms around internet access directly because they are the ones that are bringing internet to the communities in the first place. With Microsoft and partner M-COPA, USAID is partnering with small women's village organizations to help identify the best way to get smartphones and digital literacy skills into the hands of rural women so that they can be more financially empowered. In Kenya and in Tanzania, Mandie comes to the challenge with over 20 years of effective edutainment, educational entertainment. Their content positively impacts social norms, women's empowerment, and development practices with its novel programming and engaging television shows. Episodes of Mpeke Town educate women on how technologies and services can help them achieve better farming and financial skills, and discuss such issues such as land ownership, gender and agricultural activities, and other topics that specifically improve the lives of female viewers. These are only a few examples, and they're all very different, but they all share the same philosophy that closing the gender-digital divide requires us to build partnerships, engage directly, and work locally. Through the years of work, USAID has defined 5 effective practices for closing the gender-digital divide: support positive social norms and cultural perceptions, create economic opportunities, cultivate women's confidence, design creative women-centric technology, and develop community support. In many underserved or rural communities, access to technology and the internet by women is often seen as immoral, inappropriate, or unnecessary. It is important to work on perceptions with those frequently in power, such as men, communities, and religious leaders and elders. Tackling these existing social and cultural norms will help women gain access to information and opportunities, build confidence, and feel more empowered. When trained on using technology, women can access increased economic opportunities, from serving as community technology leaders and to entrepreneurs. Once men are educated about online workforce opportunities for women, they often become more supportive of technology access due to the increased family income. In turn, a woman's financial gains allows her to have more liberty and be able to afford additional internet access, education, or further opportunities for empowerment. To close the gender-digital divide, programs must use technology options tailored to women in developing countries, many of whom are illiterate or have low literacy levels. Innovative video and audio platforms allow women to readily communicate and learn. Offline content on a range of development topics can reach women who do not otherwise have access to the internet. Custom devices and services can meet women's needs much better than a universal technology. As poorer rural women gain access to technology, many become advocates for change in their communities. When given a platform to communicate with local leaders, they have championed issues disproportionately affecting women, such as gender-based violence and access to finance or government programs, which benefit the entire community and lead to greater acceptance of women's technology use. We look to bolster these efforts even further, and we look forward to continuing to work with the Reliance Foundation and USAID India Mission team to invest in innovative and locally led solutions that integrate these 5 effective strategies. As the world's economies and societies turn towards digital transformation, the inclusion of women and girls is imperative to ensure that these benefits are shared equally. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. As we come to the end of this event, I'd like to thank you and all our speakers who've shared their perspectives on the urgency of working to bridge the gender-digital divide. Thank you for sharing the work you have been pursuing to achieve this goal. And thank you, everyone who has been watching us here today. We hope these discussions were useful. And as you think about applying to round 2 of the WomenConnect Challenge India, please do visit the website www.womenconnectindia.com. Wish you all the best.